I have been gone from my garden for 4 weeks, the whole month of July. And so in that time, we went to Pennsylvania and we did a blueberry farm that my husband's family has. And I'm sure you guys saw that. So that video is doing really well, has lots of views. And then my husband surprised me and he took, just him and I went to Hawaii, which was my dream place for over 20 years. I've been wanting to go there. And so there we got to tour a vanilla bean farm and a coffee farm. So we're gonna make videos on those. So you guys will have to stay tuned so you can watch us do the videos, show you the videos of us touring those farms. And so anyways, but I'm back and I'm so excited to see my jungle because I've actually prepared for this. I knew that it was gonna look a little crazy, but I've been prepping. I did several things beforehand before I left. And so I want to show you what I did. And I want to show you how the garden held up while I was gone. So come on, let's look at this jungle. Let's see what I got to do. What all the work I got to do. So my trellis is the first thing that I need to work on. But before I left, I made sure that all of my things are all going up the trellis. So I have cucumbers, a cherry tomato, and these yard-long beans. And then I have some melons. Isn't that fun? These are cantaloupe. So you can see the size. Everything is doing really well on the trellis, and it's actually what I envisioned would happen. Did you see the melons? I have one. I don't know if I have another one. There's another one there. So the trellis is doing really well, and this is what I envisioned that it would be, that I would have these yard-long beans and that they would just kind of cascade and hang down. So there's a few of them happening here. I didn't know if I would have to help them kind of make sure they're poking through the square, but they're actually doing really good on their own coming down. So with the trellis, I just made sure that everything was going up it, and I kind of tied it up a little bit before I left. And everything is doing great. The cucumbers are starting to get a little long, so I'll have to make sure that I'll intertwine them. And then like this bean right here, this shoot, I'll have to make sure that I'll put this up. The beans can hang, I like that. but this needs to go up so it can continue doing its thing. So I'm happy with the trellis. It's doing really, really good. I prepared it really well. Let's look at this bed. You want to come that way and then you can see it. This bed right here is a situation. So before we left, I made sure that I trimmed the basil really, really low. So let me show you. So before we left, the basil was like this tall, probably like 1.5 feet. And then since we've been gone for a month, this is all the growth. This is all one basil plant. Is it one? No, there's two. Okay, minus this. All this is one plant. Look at that. You can see the bottom of it. It's like a tree. Look at it. Look at the stem. Can you see it? It's like a tree stalk. So woody. And then this is the new part. So I had the basil trim. Oh my goodness, look at this. What is that? How cute is that? It's white. I don't know if it's good or bad, but he can live. I have plenty of basil. So cute. Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Cute. I thought it was a white moth at first. So basil's doing great. I will have to cut it a little bit more, get rid of all the seed pods. It's going to seed right now. So you don't want that. You want your basil to live longer. So I'll trim it even lower. I'll probably trim it down to here. But then also the basil, I'm actually surprised the basil is doing so well, because last year when I grew it in a different location, right about this time, underneath the leaves would be like all black and like moldy or something, mildewy. And all these leaves are doing really good. And I'm surprised because I think they had a lot of rain here while we were gone. But look at that, all the leaves are still beautiful. So I'm really happy with them. Look how big that is. My ranunculus are still here. So these woody stems right here, these were my spring flowers, the ranunculus that I had. So I will have to dig these up probably now and make sure that I save the corms underneath and dry them out, so then I'll have them for next year to plant. My poor ginger is still hidden, and now it's shaded out by not only the artichoke but also the basil. So it's like 2 years ago I had the best ginger ever because I gave it so much love and attention. And then I got either a little lazy or too confident, and now it's not doing so hot. But the, oh, look at that bug. What is that? Look at that. Do you see that? Look at that. Oh, flew away. Ah! My artichoke is doing great. I'm so happy. This is what I wanted. Look at the flower. It's like a sea anemone. Look at it. It's so beautiful, and it gets so many bees on here and butterflies. This year I grew the artichoke to save seeds because I wanted extra seeds that was out, and I wanted it for the flower. I wanted to look at it and enjoy the flowers. Isn't that beautiful? So one plant has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's a 10th one. 10 flowers from one plant. At least 10. Isn't that beautiful? So I didn't have to do anything with the artichoke before we left to prep it for us being gone. But the dahlias, what I did was I went through and I cut off all of the dead spent flowers. So I wanted the bush, the flowers, the plants to focus on spending its energy to produce new flowers. So everything that was like dead or dying, I cut it off. So for example, this, dead, cut it off. These are definitely dead. I cut these off. If you wanted to save your own seeds, these actually are a little wet. You wouldn't want to do that. I don't know if they are molded or not. But if you wanted to save your own dahlia seeds, they're in here. But not all of them are good, only the ones that are plump. We'll talk about that later. So anyway, so I cut off all the spent blooms so then the flower can just focus on making new beautiful flowers. So now that I'm back, I got to do that again. There's so many. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to make sure I cut all of these off. Let me go this way. For the sweet potatoes, I didn't have to do anything before we left except put this netting down. And this is just to protect it from the deer and the rabbits so they wouldn't eat the shoots. Because the deer, especially, they really love sweet potato shoots, all the leaves. And so we knew that this is not protected area, not fenced. And we do have deer coming through and rabbits. So this is to keep all those critters from eating the sweet potato leaves. So that's it. And then the sweet potatoes did really, really good. It's so much more lush and just loving its life right now. It's already flowering too. Can you see the flowers? Okay, let's keep going with this jungle. Let's go through this way. And I can't get through. So I have my cucumbers are actually starting to crawl this way, so I gotta tame them. Let me walk this way. So here the zinnias are doing good. Oh, I'm trying to spread all the dill seeds everywhere, so I would have extra dill. There you go. So everything is looking good in this bed. We pulled the garlic right before we left, and actually the potatoes are ready to be pulled next. So we'll do a video on that, but right here you can see this is from a potato plant. So they're all kind of intermixed in there. We'll have to dig them all up. And we'll kind of have to be careful about it because we have volunteer sunflowers and some sweet potatoes we planted. This is celosia. Okay, so that's looking good. What else? I never got to cut my lavender before we left. So as you can see here, it's all kind of looking a little ratty. So I'll have to make sure I give it a nice trim because it's already starting to, can you see here? It's starting to have new growth right here. And I want to make sure that I trim it before it gets too crazy because it'll be too woody. So I got to do that. I got to make sure I trim it. And then I got flowers. I deadheaded everything, all the flowers before I left. This is my loofah plant, a volunteer from last year. So he is doing good. Oh my, he's taking over. He's going up to sunflowers. Oh no, I gotta tame him. So my plan is I need to make sure I put him back on this trellis. Yeah, he is taking over. So it's not just like a one shoot. It's kind of like a cucumber plant where they just have multiple shoots. They just go out. So I got to make sure I put them all on here, and then they can take over this side. Okay, let's get through. So we got grass growing in the walkway right here. We can grow luscious grass. What else? I got some tomatoes. So with the tomatoes, what I did is I made sure that I tied them to the trellis a little bit better, like especially the tops. So then that way they have even more time to grow and not just topple over. So they're doing really good. You can see all the new growth. What, like 2 feet, 3 feet of new growth in a month. And they haven't fallen over yet, so they're doing good. Don't get too close to the tomatoes. They have some end rot I need to deal with. But the plant is holding its own. Wow, these are cucumbers. So I've planted things in stages. I planted my cucumbers, I don't know, in April. And then right before we left, I planted more cucumbers because I wanted like a succession of cucumber plants. So they're all taken over. So this is a walkway. I need to make sure that I tame them and put them away. Put them on the trellis. So I gotta make sure I harvest all the cucumbers. So mostly it's just trellising everything. Right before we left, I have these like 3 volunteer cherry tomato plants. And so I put this little metal, I call it my Eiffel Tower. I put that here and put the tomatoes through it, and they're actually doing really good. They're all staying kind of in here, holding on, and then that one is really super long, so it's helping hold them all together. So that's this side. Oh, my flowers are all finished. I kind of missed. Let me go that side. I don't know if you guys can hear, but the cicadas are full on out and making all their noise. So I have their shells all over my garden. They attach to all the plants. And then you can see, look at that. Kind of creepy looking. But if you can see right here, this is where they emerge, right here in the center. See that? where the new cicada emerges. But everywhere in my garden, I have these like holes everywhere, and I always think like, what animal was crawling in my garden? And then I see the shells, and I'm like, oh, cicadas. So here I have gladiolas that this one fell over, so I wasn't here to stake it up. But look how beautiful. And it actually has more life in it. Like these are the old flowers. It starts from the bottom and then goes up. And then all these are new flowers that are still yet to bloom. So I need to put like a stake and tie it, and it'll still bloom. It still has life in it. And then this one hasn't opened yet. So these are some of the things that happen if you're not here for 4 weeks. Is some of your plants just need more attention. I'm scared. There you go. I'll have to stake them up later. My hollyhocks, I totally got to miss them. Like before I left, one or two plants opened up and I saw a few flowers. But the rest, I missed their prime season. I don't know if they'll still bloom. Like this one still has new shoots here at the bottom if you look. But the who is it? Who was on them? Japanese beetles. The Japanese beetles are just eating them to death. Like all the leaves. So you can see all the flower pods.
Seed pods.
All the seed pods. Look at that. So all these are seeds. How cool is that? Flat. Oops, they're flat. Kind of look like caterpillars. Okay, so this side held really good. I'm pretty happy. And I also forgot to give a shout out to my sweet neighbor, Angie. She volunteered to water the garden for me, and I'm so grateful and thankful to her for that. So thank you, Angie. She watered everything, so that's why it survived. So thanks to her. So I want to show you a cucumber that got away from us. 4-week-old cucumber. Look at that. So these are supposed to be pickling cucumbers. So I want them about this big, about half that size. Now I want to look at the other side of the garden and see how well that fared. But I did notice that I can grow really great grass. It's as tall as me, maybe taller. If anybody needs advice on how to grow grass, you just leave for 4 weeks. You'll have great grass. So I have some cosmos popping through here. I'll have to get them out or cut the stems. So I got some weeds in the walkway. I gotta get those. But I noticed my onions, they're actually done. Well, they actually can go. Some of them are done. They're ready to be harvested. But like this one, look, it's not even, the neck is not even bent. So he still has life in him. He's gonna keep growing, hopefully get bigger. This guy here, his neck fell down, and so he is ready to be picked. Look how big he is. Well, I'm happy with that. These are the biggest onions yet. Look at this weed. Don't look at this weed. I got a weed. So my onions have bolted, I noticed, and so that means they can't store, I can't store them for like months and months at home in storage. So that just means I'll have to eat them up first, which is funny. Before, when we came back from vacation, I had to go to the grocery store and I was like, okay, what do I need to get? Oh, I really want some cucumbers and tomatoes. I need to get some onions. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait, I'm growing all these things. I have onions that are ready, cucumbers, tomatoes. So it's like you forget that you're growing things like that and you're like, oh yeah, I have that at home. I don't need that at the store. So anyway, so these are onions. They're doing good. I weeded before I left and I have this mulch down to help with the weeds. If I didn't have that down, I would have like 20 times more weeds. Yeah. My carrots, I need to harvest those. Oh yeah, they're looking good. I planted flowers along this edge before we left, but the carrots are just so hairy. They're just shaded everything. But they're doing good. They're beautiful. This one I've noticed I had a carrot that went to seed. Kind of looks like a Queen's Anne lace. Is that what it's called? But that's like a wild carrot, and so that's what real carrots, when they go to seed, that's what they look like. So it's that one right there. Let's pull it. Ready? See, there's nothing there really edible. It's just looks like a weed. But the flowers are pretty. Okay, one weed down, more weeds to go. My artichoke's doing good. My dahlias are doing good. I just have to cut off all these spent blooms. What else? My trellis here, I'm kind of not impressed with it. I have melons. Oh my, they're attaching to the ground. So I have these melons that I planted, and I need to put them back on the trellis.
What's that?
So these are cantaloupe. So I'll have to. I was kind of hoping my trellis would be more lush. There you go. It just needs help. Ta-da! That's good. I can grow grass. Here's some grass. Here's some great grass. These are cucumbers. They're doing good. My volunteer straw flower. That cucumber plant's going on the fence. I got to bring him up. Let go. Let go. There, usually you can just kind of, there you go. Let go. And then I'll get him through here. He's doing good. There you go. Have to keep an eye on him. So I got volunteer cucumelons. I grew them 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I didn't really enjoy them as much. They were okay. And I was hoping my daughter would really love them. And she didn't really like them as much either. So I just ripped all the plants out and didn't really want them. And now I can't get rid of them. I have all these volunteers. Like every year they keep coming back. Every year like new plants come back, and I haven't planted it for like 3 years. They don't want to leave me alone. Look at that. All this was one weed. Look how much space it takes. Makes my garden look so messy, and then you take one weed out. Ta-da! So much cleaner. So I noticed my strawberries are starting to take over my sidewalk, my walkway, so I have to, look at that! So I need to tame them. I gotta say, no, nope, you stop here. So I gotta rip them all out. More grass. So this is my cotton plant that I was telling you guys about. And look at it. Here's the flower. Look at that. And then if you look at the bottom of the plant, it has the little cotton balls. Well, they're not there. They're not open yet. They're inside. And then soon, they'll open up and you'll have cotton. How cool is that? My first time growing cotton. Okay, look for a new clothing line coming soon. Everything cotton. Just kidding. But seriously. So here, this is celosia. Oh look, it's starting to come out. So one thing I did before I left was with my cosmos, I tied it up. So here's a stake, and I tied it up, and that was when it was a baby. And now it's this huge plant that this rope just looks like a joke. It's not even doing anything. So I gotta get the rest of it. Oh my, it's heavy. I gotta bring it up. Yeah, look at that, it's as tall as me. And it's super heavy. I might have to put a T-post instead of this. Like do a metal post and then hold that down. Okay, can you walk through? Oh my goodness, they're rooting. Look at that. Whatever touched the ground, it's rooting, growing roots and trying to live. So before I left, I tied down all my tomatoes. So tied up, how would you say that? I tied them up. So I made sure that they're all tied to the rope. Oh man, I can't think of any words right now. All the words escape me. But let me show you right here. Let me show you the clips that I'm using. So right here. So I have these clips that hold on to the rope and then to the plant. So you can see right here are the clips that I'm using to clip the tomatoes to the rope. And I'll have a link below that if you guys are interested, you can click on that and then be able to order those on Amazon. Everything's doing good. I did my little transplants. I had little transplants of these flowers before I left, and I planted them all. They all survived. I harvested peas right before we left. So this whole wall was peas. And then I planted just seeds, cucumber seeds. So in 4 weeks, that's how much growth I got. Thank you to my neighbor for watering, because without her, I would have nothing. So I got a weed. There's lots of weeds everywhere. Yeah, the peppers got bushier because they're not shaded by poppies anymore. Okay, well, everything did awesome. I'm really happy actually. I was actually thought it would look worse when I would come back. I thought, oh no, I'm gonna have such a crazy jungle, it's gonna be crazy. What is that, a weed or a flower? I think it's a weed. And so I'm happy with how things held up. I prepared everything really well, as best as I could. And so everything held its own for 4 weeks. And now I'm back. I'm ready to get the weeds under control, stake things up. And so I'm gonna do a garden tour for you guys and kind of show everything in detail, what I'm growing and when I planted it and how everything is looking. So thanks for tuning in.